Sure. Thank you,
Path,
Vidya.
over to you.
Yep, thank you. I hope my voice is clear, right?
Yes, you're.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining in. This is again to all the new attendees who are there today. I mentioned the same thing yesterday that try to be interactive during the session. Ask as many questions as you want to. You can put the questions in the chat towards the end of the session. If you want to unmute yourself, we will just enable that. So just make sure that you are interactive, you ask questions, and try to gain as much knowledge you can from this session. I'll just quickly share my screen. All right. I hope my screen is visible. Vidya,
It
can you
is.
just confirm?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Yes. I'm going to keep the video off because of network issue. Just a minute. All right. So now first we'll see how we can access UiPath integration service, right? So you all might have downloaded UiPath or explored it or just have a glance at it. You navigate to cloud.uipath.com. I'm just on another instance, so I have this different URL, but you guys will have the same URL. You click on this options tab, and if you scroll down, you will see integration service over here. Now, before we go ahead and deep dive into the product or the features or what we can build on our own, right? Let me explain you on high level what it is. See, when you are building automations, right, you will obviously be integrating it with different systems. It can be Gmail, it can be Outlook, it can be LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, Slack, Microsoft Teams. There are so many software. And on an enterprise level, like when we build automations for our clients, we integrate it with many different applications. Like the list does not end. In some cases, they use Salesforce. In some cases, they use ServiceNow. When we are building HR related operations, then we use Expensify. We use Bamboo HR for onboarding and everything. So that there are many different software. Now, in the call, right? Have you guys heard of APIs? Just a yes or no quick in the chat if you guys can put it. If you have heard about what is APIs, just put yes in the chat quickly. I give it a minute so that you guys can answer. Come on, guys, be responsive and you answer in the chat whether you have heard about APIs or not, application programming interface. No one has ever heard about it. Okay, Vidya has used to. Others, all right, that's it. So whenever we want to integrate a third-party application, we first of all see that are there any APIs available for them. If that APIs are available, right, then things become very simple. You don't have to do UI automation because UI is bound to change. So you don't want that affecting your automation. So we look out for APIs. Using that APIs, we try to integrate whatever application we want to and perform the operation. Now, what integration service does? It removes the dependency of API. You create a one-time connection. All right. So what UiPath integration service does it removes the dependencies of APIs and offers you activities directly. So if I come back over here, let me create a process in Studio Web. So you can again click on this, navigate to Studio. I'm going to click on New RPA Workflow. And for now if you see over there, it is asking me trigger for your automation. So there are so many softwares available. If you see GitHub, Expensify, Jira, Keep, UiPath mail. For now, let me just close this and rename the file. integrations. Okay, and we'll come back over here. Now, if you say in category, we have so many options. Whatever you want to select, Azure Maps, document, data service, expense reporting, exchange rate, FreshBook, Excel. There are so many things that you can integrate your UiPath automation through. Right. And let me go back to integration. How many of you have heard about GitHub or used it? Quickly in the chat, if you can put a yes or no that you have used GitHub or not. Okay, I get one answer. There are 34 people in the call, excluding me and Vidya. There are 32 people, but I don't even see three replying. So, guys, come on, quick vote in the chat. If you have used GitHub or know about it, put a quick yes. If no, then put no. Yes, all right. Now, the basic operations in GitHub, what you do, right? You create a repository, you pull a request, and you create a issue, create a branch. There are so many operations that you do. Update an issue if an issue is created over there. So this all activities I buy are by default created. So now you don't have to use APIs when you are using your custom applications. You don't have to use APIs to do that. Let's see how we can do it. So for example, from my workspace, let me navigate to exploration, connections, connectors. Let me search for GitHub over here. Click on this. Then I'll click on connect to GitHub. When I click on connect to GitHub, what it is asking me, username or organization name. Let me see what my username is. GitHub.com. This is here. Let me copy this. Come over here, paste it. If you see, it has already linked it, authorized UiPath platform, and connect. So now if you see the connection failed to create, please close the browser and try again. Let's try again. Authorized full control. List organization events for, okay. Maybe it is not able to list the details. Let's try one more time. Okay. It is either not getting the user or some of the details. Organization. New organization. Let's try with this. Okay. Create the organization. Organization name. Exploration. My personal account. We can copy this. Let's try for one more time with this. There might be an issue. It's been a long time I've used my GitHub account. I'm not sure. Okay, no organization for Pardesh. Oh, it is maybe not getting the details, but yeah, this is how it's simple. Let me navigate to Gmail. If you see in Gmail, I've already created connection over here. And what are activities available? You can, these are events, but what are activities? Apply Gmail labels, create event, delete event, forward email, download email, attachment. These are all the basic operations that you do with Gmail, and everything is possible using the GenAI activity. Till now, does anyone have any questions like what is integration service, or you did not understand the purpose of the product? Does anyone have any that type of question? I'll just wait for a minute if someone wants to answer in the chat, and then we can move ahead. I see one no in the chat. So these are the Gmail operations. Now we are going to focus on something more interesting. I think I should have a connection already created. If you see, I've created connection for GenAI activities. Now, what are I'm going to create a process for GenAI activities. Yeah, I will keep the and let's search it. Okay, now if you see in Gen AI activities, there are so many different activities available. Now, why I'm particularly trying to cover Gen AI activities over here. First, before this, let me show you how to create a Gen AI connection. You go to connectors, search for Gen AI, you will get UiPath Gen AI. Click on connect, successfully created. Now I have three connections created over here. The default one is Pardoshi, hashtag Q1. This is how it is simple. Okay. Now, if you see here, there are activities like translate, PII filtering, reformat, detect language, semantic similarity, image classification, analysis, etc., etc. There are so many things available over here. We can use whatever we want, summarize text, or okay, let's use detect language. And for now, what we are going to do is let's see this English to Hindi. And then, how are you? We are going to copy this and let's first see what is the issue over here. If not here, and again, search for Gen AI. Detect language is something that we are going to use. It is trying to load the connections that I've already created. If you see, it has loaded the connection. Now, text, I have been asked to enter the text. I'm going to copy this. Detected language, str language, and then I'm going to use a log message. The text is in. Just save it. And let's see if it works or not. and how well does it work? So if you see in the output, it identifies the language. The text is in Hindi language. So this is how you can use Gen AI activities. Let's try something new and different. Reformat PIS filtering. Let's see what image classification is. Detect language, we are going to comment it for now. So there are two different models available over here. Before this, generate image. Okay. Example. Let me do it. True salutation. Hello. And name we can, for now I'm going to give my name. Include sign off. That is the regards or whatever we write. If you see regard kind of name, UiPath bot. What is the email content? Here you have to just write the description. You don't have to provide the exact content. For example, we have an amazing event coming up for students who want to build their career in automation. Draft an email to advertise about UiPath agent hack for students. Okay, this is the only description that I'm going to write for now. Style, I want it to be engaging. Okay, these are all the properties that you have provided. Let's create the email output, str email output. Let me comment this again. Str email output. Okay, let's silence. So it has drafted an email. Let's put it in Notepad and read it. So if you see how well it drafted in a way. Hello, Parth. Are you ready to take your first big step towards exciting a UiPath agent hack? This is one of the kind event with challenges, etc. So now if you see any email that you want to draft, you just provide the content. What is the email that you want to generate, and it will generate such an amazing email for you. So this is how what the Gen AI capabilities are, right? Now, for example, going further, let's take one more step where we send the email. Send the email. It is installing a certain package. Uh, Send email, reverse draft calls. Two, I'm going to specify my email ID over here. Or you don't have to go over here. Use variable HTML email out. That is going to be my body of email. And let's click on that. Again, if you see in send email, we had the connection created for Gmail. It is by default using it, and we are getting the output. Let me just quickly. Okay, so if you see, the email drafting is not done very well, but yeah, the email has been sent successfully. So this is how we can use Gen AI activities to generate email and to send it to the user. I'll take a quick pause over here if anyone has any questions with respect to the Gen AI activities. I will also keep the list open over here in case if anyone has any questions about it. You can feel free to ask for any activity that you want me to try. I'll just keep it open for a couple of minutes so that you guys can go through it. Okay. Someone has mentioned web reader. All right, let's see what it is. A publicly accessible URL. Let's directly try. So what I'm going to do is put UiPath.com over here. Okay. And let's see. Output text. Okay. Someone had told me to try this, so we are trying it. Let's see what output we get. Okay. In the meantime, Raju G has a question. How can we handle different connections for same connector across different tenants? For example, I used Raju connection in my dev tenant, but in test and prod, I want to use bot account connection. How can I handle that? So that you can configure in your integration service itself. When you create a connection for a particular folder, you can create it in that tenant for that particular folder. And here you have an option. Which one do you want to use? So here in the code, it has to be configured. When you publish your code to a different tenant, or when you want to publish it to a different tenant, you will have to update your code and then it will use that respective connection. Let's see what output we have got. It has extracted a lot of information. So whatever readable text is there, right, there, it will extract all that information from there. Now, another interesting activity, then this could be something like this. Web search, Google custom search, formatted results. Okay. I'm using a web search activity. What it is going to do is whatever topic that I provide, it is going to search information on that. So can you find some information on UiPath agent? Let's see how well it is able to find it or not. Did it already on? It found the available URLs from the website. Now what we can do is we can further use this data to summarize it. We have summarized text as well, right? So you can summarize the output for you as well. Okay. Anyone else having any questions? Raju, I hope I answered your question, but anyone else has any questions or with this, right? Now the type of activities that you see, any use case that you think that you can build, please type in the chat. What use case do you think you can build using these activities? I've kept the activities list open so that you can go through it. Come on, guys. Any use case that you think you can build using these activities that comes to your mind, or any activity that you want to see me build, let me know. Or anyone who was planning some use case to build, right? And you think, okay, wow, now these activities are really going to help me. Read the email from customer, do sentiment analysis, reply accordingly to customer. Awesome. This is one of the most common and the ideal use case for the GenAI activities that we have. This is what we call customer sentiment analysis. You reply according to the customer, or you reply what their requirement is. So, yeah, for this use case, right, Raju, I would suggest that you explore and understand what context grounding is. Let me put the name in the chat. Do explore what this is and see how you can implement it in your use case. This is going to be really helpful to you. Content generation and document understanding. Document understanding, to some extent, you will have to use document understanding activities as well. But yes, content generation, you can definitely do it. So that is a possible use case. Let me show you one of the agent that I had built. I supposedly should have it. Sales research agent. Okay. So I had built an agent that what it does, right? You provide a company name and it will draft an email for your marketing team. Okay. Now you give any company name. What happens normally, right? The sales team or the marketing team, they get a list of companies where they can pitch in that, okay, we offer automation services, etc., like that. What this agent is currently doing, I've provided Fortis Hospital, a company name. It is finding the company information from Google. So if you see the output that it has, many different titles and everything like we had previously shown. Now, if you see company details, company name Fortis Healthcare Limited. I had provided Fortis Hospital, but it found out the correct name. Company domain healthcare services provided comprehensive medical services hospital network website link. No email data found, but automation use cases it has found out, and it has drafted an email as well. So if you see it has drafted in complete email, and now this can be used by the sales team or the marketing team directly to send it to the client. So this is how you can use the context surrounding activities or different tools to get the information. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, Vidya, thank you for sharing the recording of the context surrounding session. But overall, Vidya, this is what I wanted to cover in this session. So now, if we have any questions or students want to ask anything about their use case or whatever they want to build, we will take that up.
Okay, I understand that we are opening for Q&A.
Yes, yes.
But before we open the Q&A, I want you to brief them about tomorrow's session. I understand it is hands-on tomorrow and it is a
Right.
2-hour session. If they need any prerequisites, if they want to be in front of the laptop,
Right.
yeah.
So one of the prerequisites is having the UiPath cloud account, right? The one that I was just sharing. So cloud.uipath.com is the URL, I believe. Pretty much since they have attended many different sessions till now, they might have created that account. That is the only prerequisite. We will be building an app tomorrow. The use case, I have multiple use cases. I'll finalize one before we are on call tomorrow, but it will be a combination of things that you will use GenAI activities, you will build the front end. So in these two sessions, whatever I have shown to you, we'll build a use case around that same thing. So that is good. But again, with the one important thing tomorrow is going to be they are interactive. Because if I tell them to build something, right, and I'm not sure if they have done it or not. So that is something that they will have to do. But yeah, I will show it from scratch how to build that complete app.
Since tomorrow is Saturday, I think the students will be available.
Your voice is low for me. I'm not sure if it's only for me or for others.
Now is it, am I audible now?
Yeah, much
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Okay, I think tomorrow they will be interactive because I'm not sure whether they are in college right now or not. Probably tomorrow they would be more interactive. That is what
Awesome.
I've seen. Let's see how it goes. Okay, before opening the Q&A, I'll stop the recording.